Now let's get to the aspect itself of getting set up on a planet. You'll find that you need to have an industrial to work with the command centers. Each command center is 1000 cubic meters, so it is a little bit ungainly. You need to be in space with the command center in your ship's cargo hold in order to install it onto a planet. Luckily, you can just sit tethered off of a structure. You do not need to warp out to the planet, so it is fairly safe to set up and interact initially. The only time you actually physically have to warp anyway is when it's time to collect the resources. Okay, so I am only going to be installing a single barren command center. So in VKI, we've got the 2 barren planets and a whole bunch of gas planets. So this, if you want to set up in VKI, just know that you will not be able to extract all the different minerals needed for the production. However, the rarer type, which is the noble metals or precious metals, those you can farm quite easily here. So let's open up this planetary interaction and let's have a look. Okay, so barren planet, as remember from before, the 5 minerals that are available. This is the scanning interface, so if we select one, it generates a heat map of where that resource is located, and you've got the slider to select the threshold for where you would like to, well, just to change the scan to pick your spot. What I'm interested in here on this planet is noble metals. But before I start, I'm just going to have a look at both of these planets and compare them. So I'm going to drag the slider up a bit so it shows me the hotspots where there are lots of resources. A good spot down there, not too much around the poles. Okay, and this resource density is 41%. Let's have a look at the other planet. Resource density 40%, so extremely similar. Let's have a look at this heat map. Now I did not change the threshold, so it appears that the cluster of deposits are slightly better on the other planet. So I think I'll be setting up there. Right, so let's go back there. Noble metals. Alright. Big chunk down there, and a slightly wider, more spread out area over here. And something to consider is that as you set up your extractors and you keep harvesting resources, the resources do get depleted over time and they get replenished over time as well. So if you set up in this spot and you cover this with extractors or extractor heads and you suck all the resources out of it, you're simply going to find yourself with a base sitting here with no resource to extract anymore, and you're going to have to get creative with replacing elsewhere. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to come sit up here so I can spread the resources out to catch this entire area. Okay, so to start with, go to the build tab. Currently the only option in here is to put a command center down. We will do that. Where you physically place the command center is not particularly important. Just for convenience, I keep it close to where I'm going to be setting up all my planetary structures. You don't have to submit just yet. You can go and select upgrades. This character is still missing the last level of command center upgrade, so I can only go to level 5. Upgrade, and now I need to submit, which is the like the Windows version of apply. Okay, so slight cost involved there, 4.2 million just to upgrade to that level. Upgrade level is shown there. You can see the CPU and power grid is quite a large amount available. Okay, now what I'm going to start with is a barren extractor control unit. You can see the circle that is lit up there. That is the maximum range where this particular extractor unit can install extractor heads. So I can place it over here and cover that entire section and move it down a touch. So I'm happy with that spot, and just right click to make that go away and submit. Alright, now what's important is that the production or the goods coming out of an extractor unit needs to go into a storage. Command center is not a good place. Only got 500 cubic meters of capacity. So what I'm going to do is just build a storage unit right next to it. Does not go green, it just goes a normal see-through color. Click there. Now the important part is now everything has to be linked. So hold and control, click there and click there. I'm just not going to click yet, just have a look there. Distance, power and CPU. Every link that you make needs to use some power and CPU. So ideally you will not have the massive spread out networks, otherwise you're wasting CPU and power grid just on all the connections. Okay, so let's get the extractor going. Installing a program. It says no extractors installed, and you'll see that the scan has gone away. First we need to select something. I'm here for noble metals. Let's select that again. Now if you want to modify the scan in the interface, it is possible. You can simply open this tab again, adjust the scan as needed. Actually I'm going to leave it over here for a good indication of where I want to place all the extractor heads. Program duration, I would advise whatever you think how frequent you're going to be at the computer and busy with PI. Let's say you're planning on being here daily, add another day onto that. The simple reason being that you will not lose any production out of it, but then if you reach the end of the program, all production stops, or let me rather say all extraction stops. So rather let it overrun a bit, and you can always come and stop and start to refresh the extraction. So I normally work on a 2-day cycle, so for this one I'm going to put 3 days. Alright, now just putting it back on the build tab. You'll keep an eye on the power load. Every extractor head I'm installing is increasing the power load. Okay. However, we've got a slight bonus that I can put this at any distance and does not change the power load. So simply having the extractor head installed costs power grid, a little bit of CPU, but where it actually is placed inside of the circle of the extractor control unit, that does not matter. Okay, so you need to keep an eye on the numbers here. That is the rate of extraction of the particular heads. Don't be fooled by the little flashes of this vertical bar, because it changes its values and you might think, oh, that's a nice tall column of resources being extracted. Meanwhile, it's actually not as much as if you place the extractor head in a good spot. You'll notice the trend from the start of program to the end. There is a decline. That is fine. Remember, we overcated by an extra day. So if I come back in 2 days, that'll be about here, and then I stop and restart the extractor program, it's going to start again with a spike at the beginning and then deplete slightly over time. Okay, so average per hour, that is the important value that we'll cover later when it comes to how much resources are needed to feed the different factories. I'm going to give it one more extractor head over there, place it in this batch. I just want to see if I'm catching the peak of it. I think that's fairly well spread out. If need be later, if I need to adjust, I can maybe come and add another extractor head on the right hand side over here. For now, I'm going to start the extraction. Click start there, and again submit, so it actually starts. We zoom in now. You will see that the little circle on the inside, starting with the little white dot over there, that will run through. And current cycle, that's what I'm talking about. It's a 1 hour cycle. It's currently running a few seconds into it. So when it completes that cycle, it will deposit the minerals and where you tell it to go. As you can see, it's got the red ring around it. If you click on it, it says not routed. And also, if you have made a mistake of this sort, you'll find that this the icon comes up in the planetary interaction interface, and as the mouse over says, one or more facility requires attention. Okay, so the issue is it's not routed. So we'll go here to products, noble metals, create route. You can just double click and submit. Right, now it's not complaining anymore. Use check. Now it's got a little animation on that link running down. I just get my mouse out the way, you can see 79.1%. What that means is that the link running from the extractor into the storage is running at 79.1% capacity. That equates to, so I'm just going to try and click on this link. There we go. So the maximum capacity of a link is 1250 cubic meters per hour. Capacity that this is expected to use is 988.6. You can upgrade these links This is only really relevant for Wormhole and Null, where the resources are that abundant that you're going to hit that limit. So if need be, you can upgrade this link, and it will simply increase capacity of what it can deposit into the storage unit. Okay, not necessary for this one. I'll see if I come back to this planet in a day or two, if I'm increasing the number of extractor heads on this extractor, if I need to upgrade this link or not. Okay, so currently it's extracting and depositing into storage. So what we're going to do next is build basic industry. Basic industry takes raw resources and converts into tier 1. Advanced takes tier 1 and makes tier 2. High tech takes tier 3 or 2 depending and creates tier 4. The high tech production plant is only available on barren and temperate planets. However, it is not relevant for the fuel block production. We're only going to be concerned with basic and advanced. For this planet, because I've got the luxury of multiple characters doing all the extraction, I'm keeping one resource type per planet. So I'm only going to build up a couple of basic facilities around, extract them, and then later on I'll show you the other character which has got a factory planet that does no extraction, only production. Okay, so then control click and link all of these, submit, and now we need to select what to produce. Currently it's got 2 issues, producing nothing and no schematic selected. So the game is sometimes a bit clever, and it automatically selects what is available for you to produce based on what's around it. So precious metals is the correct schematic. As you can see there, input 3000 noble metals, output 20 precious metals. That is what we're trying to do. This is extracting noble metals. If you remember from earlier, every raw product only gets turned into one tier 1 product. So, precious metals, install. You can double click over there. Actually, no, I'm going to undo that one, sorry. Because I'm going to be extracting this and sending it elsewhere. Let's build the launchpad, link that up, and submit. I'll explain why I'm doing this just now. Okay, create route, going to launchpad. Just going to do this on this as well. Everybody is producing precious metals. Then creating the feeding route. If there are resources in the storage unit, you can select it from here and create route. Currently I'm still waiting for the deposit. However, I can set it up from routes. You see there is incoming, select it, create route. I'm going to do this 4 times as well. From the incoming, create route. You can just double click, create route, double click, route, sorry, this one, incoming, create route, there, submit. Okay, the reason for not sending the products back to the storage unit is because from storage to storage you cannot set up a route. If there are resources in the storage unit and I want them to come to the launchpad instead, I have to use an expedited transfer. That's under storage, select something, expedited transfer. The problem with this, it is as a cooldown, depending on the volume that you're moving. So for example, if you move 2000 cubic meters of goods, you can then only do it every 2 or 3 hours. This is just a ballpark figure, I don't know exactly. But the point remains, I don't want to come and have to worry about every time moving the resources to the launchpad and then launching it. I can simply set the factories to output their products directly onto the launchpad. Now remember, with the links can be considered as the road network and the route is the route. So I do not have to have a direct link from this factory to the launchpad. Since it is linked through the storage unit, it can deposit it directly across. And if you hover your mouse over the different structures, you can see the percentage of the links of how much is being used. So ideally, from your extractor units, it's got by far the highest volume being moved. Try not to have your extractor units somewhere in the middle of the route of your factories and your launchpad.